Find the equation of the tangent line for f of x equals x to the 2/3 times x minus 5 at the point x equals 8. To find the equation of the tangent line, we need both the x and y coordinates of the point. Right now we only have the x coordinate. The first thing to do is find the corresponding y coordinate. And that's going to be found by plugging the x coordinate into our function, which is x to the 2/3 times x minus 5. So the y coordinate will be f of the x coordinate 8, and that means we will have 8 to the 2/3 power times an 8 minus a 5. 8 to the 2/3 means the cube root of 8, 2, squared, and then 8 minus 5 is a 3. 2 squared is a 4 times a 3, which gives us a y coordinate of 12. We therefore have the point x coordinate 8, y coordinate 12. The next thing we need is the slope of the tangent line, and that's the derivative. So we're going to take the derivative of f of x. Right now f of x is a product of two functions, x to the 2/3 times x minus 5. One option is the product rule. Another option is to distribute that x to the 2/3 in and take the derivative term by term. Neither one is more difficult than the other. I'll just keep it as a product. So our derivative, f prime of x, will be the derivative of the first. That's going to be a power rule. Bring the power down, 2/3. Leave the inside alone. Subtract 1 from the power, I will call it 3/3, and multiply by the derivative of the inside to complete the chain rule. That'll just be a 1, times the second left alone, x minus 5, plus the first left alone, x to the 2/3, times the derivative of the second, derivative of x is a 1, derivative of negative 5 is a 0. So it'll just be a 1. We only need to simplify this as much as needed to be able to plug in the x coordinate of 8. So I will have to simplify it a little bit here, since we have 2/3 x raised to the 2 minus 3 negative 1/3 times a 1 we don't need to write, times x minus 5, and then plus an x to the 2/3 times a 1, which is just x to the 2/3. This negative exponent I'm going to move to the denominator with the 3. The other two terms, the 2 and the x minus 5, will stay in the numerator of that. So f prime of x will be 2 times x minus 5 over 3 times x to the 1/3 plus x to the 2/3. That's simplified enough that we can plug the 8 in. So let's go ahead and do that to find our slope. Our slope will be f prime of 8, which is going to be 2 times 8 minus 5 over 3 times 8 to the 1/3 plus 8 to the 2/3. 8 minus 5 is a 3. 8 to the 1/3 means take the cube root of 8, which is a 2, and raise it to the first power. Plus 8 to the 2/3 power means take the cube root of 8, which is a 2, and raise it to the 2 power. 2 times 3 is 6. 3 times 2 is also a 6, and 2 squared is a 4. 6 over 6 is a 1 plus 4, and I'm getting a slope of 5. So I have the point, x and y coordinates, and I have the slope. I can now set up the equation of the tangent line using the point-slope formula. Y minus the y coordinate is a 12. Equals the slope, which is a 5, times x minus the x coordinate, that's an 8. I want to solve for y, because generally we write the equation of a line that way. So I'll distribute the 5 in, 5x minus 40, and now we're going to add 12 to both sides, so that'll be 5x. Minus 40 plus 12 is minus 28. There's the equation of the tangent line to that function at that point.